Hello everyone. Welcome to another RLLB. That is Real Life Lemon Boy, where you get a slice of my real life, and you know it's me, because I got the lemon tat. Alright, so today I am out here on the prowl for some branches, which I know sounds really weird, but I'm looking for them for a couple different craft projects, including today's craft project. I'm going to teach y'all how to carve a spoon. Why? Because it's fun. Because it is fun. It's just something to do in your spare time. But we need to find some decent branches. I need some more, and I need some pretty rocks. I have a bunch of craft projects I need to work on. All right, into the woods we go. And while I'm looking around, I do want to take a chance to mention a few things to you guys. Number one, it is such a beautiful, nice day today, finally. We have been dealing with either storms or heat waves recently, which have made getting out and doing anything fun and outdoorsy pretty miserable. So I have not really been going out for a while. On top of the weather being not really all that compliant lately, I've also dealt with, in late May, I got severely ill. I was bedridden. I was so sick. So that put a lot of my plans for this year, along with the weather, of course, but I put a lot of my plans on the back burner. So I'm glad to be getting out today. We're doing a little hike, little hike while I search and look for what I need. Now, when you're looking for a good carving branch, if you're gonna carve using, found wood, like I'm doing, you want to find something that has the right thickness, because you are going to carve it down thinner, so you don't want to get something too thin. You want nice green wood, and then for what my use is going to be, I want some hardwood. I'm not great at identifying different wood types, so we will see. But you don't want anything that's too dry. You don't want anything that's going to be too soft, at least if you're doing a spoon. Also, apologies if I sound a bit breathless. I am still recovering from being sick, technically. It is a long-term recovery, but I'm a lot better than I was, so, I mean, shape and size, not bad, but it's a bit too dry. Moving on. I had all these great big grandiose plans this year for all the different outdoor stuff I was going to do. But between weather and getting sick, a lot of it's just unfortunately going to end up on the back burner. Some of it will still happen this year. But there was a fishing trip I had planned. It would be a whole day thing, but either it is way too hot to safely be out all day, or all the waters are flooded. And it's hard to go fishing in a river when the river is flooded, so I will not be doing that. This is also, you can see down there, a place I've gone fishing. Not very good for fishing here, though. Oh boy. A day like this is really giving me the itch to go camping again. I don't think I'm going to end up doing another camp until September at the earliest. Possibly not even until October. It really depends on the weather and when I have time. It has been a busy, inconvenient year so far. All right, this is actually a pretty good looking section of wood here. This fallen branch here still has green on it, and I know what kind of wood it is. It is black walnut because there are walnuts on it. That's how I recognize it. So I got a new tool, got a folding saw. If it's any good, we're going to use it in future camps, but I did get a pretty cheap one. That feels pretty wiggly. But we'll see. We're going to go ahead and try it out. Unfortunately, I do need both hands, and I don't have my camera mount with me, so I'm just going to go ahead and come back at you in a moment. Well, I gotta be honest, that saw worked pretty wonderfully, and look at this wood. It looks really cool. I think this will be perfect for what we need. I'm going to get a few more samples, though, because I'm going to have multiple crafts going on, but It's a really good find here. I might take more of this branch, to be honest. All right, I pulled a couple of samples off that branch. Black walnut, that'll look really nice once it's sealed up with some oil, sanded down. It'll be nice and pretty. I'm gonna hunt around for some more, but if nothing else, I think I have a good wood to make my spoons with. Gotta say, I am really impressed with that little saw. I got it for like, gosh, I think it was like $3 and something. Worked really well. And I'm still on the prowl for some more, but I mean, one of the things I want to do is make a staff for Renaissance Fair. It's a personal project though. But yeah, if nothing else, I got spoonwood. Spoonwood, that's a new term. We're gonna call it that from now on. Would anyone happen to know what kind of mushrooms these are here? They look cute. They look kind of slimy, but they look cute. This, on the other hand, I need no help identifying. We got some wild strawberries. They grow quite small, and they're not as flavorful as full-size strawberries, but they're not too bad. Oh yeah, I have found my staff. Guys, look, I found some cattails. You know, because it kind of looks like a corn dog on the top. You can actually eat the bottom of the stem system where it's real white when you peel away the green, and tastes pretty good from what I've heard, considering it's a foraged water vegetation. I'm not going to take any because I don't need it, but it's cool to know if you ever are looking for a snack and you're out on the trail. Oh, a fish just jumped up right over there. I guess there are fish in this lake. I've never once had luck here. I might need to come back sometime soon. Cool. All right, guys, there's the car. I'm heading out of here. I can't believe I found the perfect branch for a staff. Dude, I've been thinking about working on this project for a couple months. And now I have enough wood to do my spoon carving. Should be able to get 4 spoons maximum. We're just gonna do one for the video though. All right, everyone, well, welcome to the lemon lair, where I am preparing to start carving. Originally, what I wanted to do is to cut this in half lengthwise, and then I was going to use each half to make a spoon. However, both the bandsaw that I was going to use to cut this in half is not quite working. Unfortunately, I do need to change the blade on it, and I just don't have time to go and get a new blade and do that and whatnot. And also, I can't find my hatchet. So we are going to do this the hard way, but I have something special for us today. This is the first ever pocket knife that I owned. I have had this for, gosh, I don't even know how long. I've had this for quite some time. I think almost 15 years now. I did recently sharpen it, so it does have a nice sharp edge on it. But I'm going to go ahead and we are going to carve a spoon. First things first, though, this bark has to come off so we can see the natural wood underneath. So I am going to go ahead and start working on that. Well, there is obviously a lot more work to be done, but isn't this looking a lot more cleaned up as we go? And if anyone's wondering why I'm doing this on a on a trash bag, it's because I'm sitting at a coffee table and I don't want to get this stuff all over the coffee table. You know, could ask, oh, why don't you use a workbench? Well, I don't have one. Why not a silicone mat? Oh, well, I don't have one. But you know what I do have? I have a coffee table and I have trash bags. So it works out pretty well. As for me, I'm just going to continue carving away at the more interior parts of the bark. I do want to get down to that wood there, so it's going to be a little while. That's a pretty thick, well, if that'll focus, that's a pretty thick layer of bark there I'm trying to get through. But we'll get there eventually. Alright, so as I'm working to peel away the bark, I think I found a knot, which is fine. You expect there to be knots in wood, but it's good to know that as I'm carving, I'm able to feel the texture of the wood underneath, including where I do believe a knot is right here. This is kind of important in the overall carving, is to understand where the knots are, because those are much denser, much harder, and their presence can actually influence both the shape or even the difficulty of the carve if I plan to carve completely through it, which is, well, more difficult than carving just the regular grained wood in here that is significantly less dense than that. So, as we peel back, we'll see what that really does to the shape overall. Look at that. Carved down to get some actual wood underneath. We are making progress bit by bit. Alright, it's taken a good little bit of time, but I peeled off all of the bark from our nice piece of black walnut. Right here is a pretty significant knot. There's another smaller knot elsewhere, but I'm thinking, up here is where I'll make the bowl of a spoon, and down here I'll make the handle, and I can incorporate the knot into the overall design of that handle, actually. The spoon's going to be quite a bit longer than I originally intended, but you know what? We roll with it, so I'm going to take a small break from carving because my hands are sore, and then I'm going to get back to it, and we'll start some shaping. So, I find this particularly interesting. As I've been carving, I've finally gotten under the very base layer of the bark. So that right there is actually the real underlying flesh for the wood. As you see, I was working on a knot here, but I was able to get underneath that layer, and I actually used my nails to strip this back a bit and peel it, which is why it's pretty messy and uneven over here right now, but that is the wood itself underneath. We got the exterior of the bark off. This has been kind of the interior of the bark. There is the wood itself, and that is the layer I really, really do want to get to. So we are making very good progress. This is such a pretty wood. It's going to look very nice once I have it finished at the end. Okay, just to show you a bit more of what I'm talking about with like how you can kind of peel it. Oh, there we go. And this is literally peeling off a bunch of that bark layer. Just like that. That's all part of the, I guess, fresher portion of the bark rather than the exterior. Just peeled it away, almost like peeling a banana. A very tough banana. Can literally just dig my nail underneath there. And with the right spot, there we go. I know camera's having issues focusing. With the right spot there, can just about get that to peel off of there. Like so. Just very, very neat. If I can do that the whole way around, this will make this super quick. Super quick. We'll see. All right, well, we got all that layer off there. I ended up being able to, by hand, peel off most of it. I had to do a little bit of cleanup with the knife at the end, which really is just me taking the knife and very gently, very shallowly rubbing it over the top, so it scrapes away just that surface layer. Now at this stage, this could be turned into a really nice knife handle. You could turn into a spoon like I'm going to do. You could use it for some sort of craft if you want to cut it up into different pieces, make some smaller crafts. We are, of course, making it into a spoon today, but this is very, very nice, this piece. I'm quite pleased with having found this. Oh, missed a little bit of bark there. One thing I will say that is interesting to me is because this wood is so fresh and it's green wood, which is what I was looking for. Obviously, it's not actually the color green. That just means it has moisture in it still. Holding it, it feels wet. It doesn't feel like it's been soaked and waterlogged, but you can feel the moisture in there. So I am going to keep carving away, giving it some shape, but this is such a nice cathartic process. And if you ever want to try something like this for yourself, it's not that hard to find branches that are a nice thickness. I mean, this one, it's not super duper thick, not super duper thin. I just used that little handsaw to cut chunks from a fallen branch. Look for fallen branches. Do not cut off of live trees. Really, just don't do it. It hurts the tree. But if it's already fallen off, you're not hurting the tree by taking it. Also, sharp knives. Always, always, always sharp knives. Dull knives will injure you. Alright, so I've been thinking the carving is taking forever without me being able to shape this. Well, guess what? I'm shaping it now. I tried something else, clearly did not work, but I am just going to sand it down into the general shape I need, and then we're going to go in with the knives and do some fine-tuning and actual shaping with the carving. So I'm working on this. It's working out fairly well. I mean, I took off all of that with just the sander. So, yeah, I found a workaround. After a lot of sanding, I have much more the shape I'm trying to go for. It's going to be a pretty, I think it's going to be a pretty thick handle. That's all right, though. I'm still going to cut it down some more. But I am ready to continue carving, and we even are bringing in the big guns. It's a knife I picked up several months ago. I've actually not used. It is untested, and I have not sharpened it myself, and I always sharpen my own knives, so we'll see how it performs for carving the rest of the big chunks before we get into the nitty-gritty little details. Well, this is quite the thick spoon here. You could say that this has been a bit of a fail. I've had things just not work out that I were hoping were going to work a little differently than they ended up working. Couldn't get the bandsaw, so I started with a full branch instead of half a branch. Can't find my hatchet anywhere, so I wasn't able to cut, pieces off. But you know what? Sometimes we roll with it. And I don't think it's really a fail unless I give up. And I'm not giving up. I'm still going to work on this. It's not going to be the prettiest thing in the world. It's not going to be fantastic, but I do have my refined walnut oil here, which I will explain more about why I'm using that later. But for now, I am going to carve out the bowl. This is not the final shape. I do plan to actually use my sander again to sand it down some more after all of this, but we'll do that before we do the sealing with the oil. This here is a hook knife. You call it that because it has a hook shape. And basically, the way that it works, this side is blunt. That is where I would position, switch hands here, where I position my thumb while I'm scooping with it. Which I'll do a little scoop now, see if I can't get a little bit of this. I've actually never used the hook knife before. I've never really had a reason to, is the thing. So despite having my carving tools for several years, this is one that I have not yet cracked out. But basically, yeah, you peel it away, peel it away, peel it away. It takes a while because all carving takes a while, especially with a harder wood like this. But the way that this works is because of that shape, as I peel down, I can scoop, like so, and create a bowl shape, almost. Thus, the bowl of a spoon. I don't mind the thick handle, to be honest. I'm not sure this is going to be convenient for eating. I might make this a little camping cooking spoon, though. But let me get some of this done. We'll show you how it looks after a little bit more carving. But this hasn't worked out quite as I planned, but it's not a fail unless I quit, and I don't quit. So, let us continue. Well, I've been carving for a bit, and you can see I'm actually making a little bowl in there. I'm not used to the hook knife. Like I said, I haven't used it before, so it's a little bit of a learning curve. This whole project is a learning experience, though, which is kind of the point of it, is that I'm trying to learn, and, well, frankly speaking, I don't have anyone here showing me how to do this, so I'm kind of making it up as I go, but I am good at learning by using my own two hands, and I've watched a few videos on people and how they make spoons, so we are getting there. We are getting there. It's not going to be pretty, it's not going to be perfect, and frankly, it may not even be completely useful. But that's half the fun, is just getting your hands dirty and working on something, even if it doesn't quite work out. I have been carving. We have a nice little bowl here. I have done a lot of shaping. I sanded. Now we're going to oil this up. It's not perfect. And I actually want to talk about that a little bit. But first of all, I'm using this, the camera will focus. There we go. I'm using this refined walnut oil. I got this because, one, walnut oil is food safe. So if you are carving something like a spoon, you can put this on it and it's food safe. It'll seep into the wood fibers and actually make them stronger as it dries and cures. And it's really pretty, just overall. It's a very pretty sealing oil. You can, if you are carving stuff and you're not choosing to use it for food, you can use stuff like linseed oil. Be perfectly fine. Danish oil. really whatever oil your choice is. You could even use olive oil and vegetable oil for this. However, those do go rancid over time, so if you're using them for something that you're going to be using to potentially touch your food, it could impart some off flavors. But not all oils will seep in and reinforce the wood structure like, walnut oil would. So for this, I am going to dab a paper towel with the oil. And then I'm going to use this to, oil. We don't need to go super heavy. It will soak in over time. It probably could use multiple coats as well. But part of this is that as it seeps in, it's going to help bring out some of that natural wood color as well. Now, I want to talk about how this project has gone overall. It hasn't quite gone as I had planned, hasn't quite gone as I had hoped. So I want to talk about what went right, what went wrong. And I'll go ahead, start with the negative, just to get the negative out of the way while I go ahead and continue to oil this. Number 1, I decided to work with a difficult wood. I found black walnut, as we saw earlier in the video. I found that when I was in the woods looking for good branches I could use for carving. And I grabbed it because it is a strong, hard wood. It looks really pretty once it's been sealed and refined and has set. However, it is a hard wood. It is difficult to carve. It is difficult to work with. And I am a fairly novice wood carver, admittedly. I'm not a professional. This isn't something that I do full time. I'm not going to quit my day job to start carving things. Item number 2 on what I think really went wrong here is that this is something I've never attempted before. I've never tried to carve a spoon. This was a new thing that I have decided that, hey, I'm going to do it for an RLLB. I'm going to try it out, and we're going to see how it goes. So it was a bit of a learning curve trying to figure out, okay, well, what do I do? How do I do this? I'm watching things online. I'm reading guides that people have written who've done, plenty of this. But it's been very much that learning curve of like, I've never done this before. So I'm learning on the fly as I go. Number 3 of what I think went wrong, I did not check my equipment before I started. Had the bandsaw worked, I would have been able to cut the branch in half, and it would have made this whole process so much simpler, but I didn't check the bandsaw ahead of time, and then when the bandsaw wasn't working, well, my next go-to was going to be my hatchet. I have no clue where my hatchet is. I thought I knew where it was, can't find it, so... One of the things I should have done is to definitely check my equipment before I needed it, rather than waiting until I needed it. That was a big mistake on my part. Had to take a phone call, got the phone off the tripod now, but yeah, so that's where I think things have kind of gone wrong with this whole project, but where have things gone right? Number 1, I had fun. This has been a lot of fun to work on. I've been working on this for almost 2 weeks now in total, between going branch hunting and then actually doing the carving and everything that I've been doing. This is not all being recorded in one day. This has been a process. Number 2, the next area where I feel like this has been a good win is that I made something. Is it good? No, not really. But did I still make something? Yeah. And I think that's a bigger factor, is even if you're not skilled at something, even if you're learning, even if you're not good at it, you can still do it. You can still try. And that is far more than just never trying. So I'm satisfied that I even tried to begin with. And I've had fun doing it. Those are 2 great perks. Item number 3, and this is where I'll leave off on for the 3rd good thing, I've learned stuff. I have been carving with basswood for the last few years, on and off. I mean, that's why I have the carving knives that I have, was to do little whittlings and wood carvings. I have now decided, well, I'm going to expand the scope of what I've been doing and what I know how to do. So I'm going to move on to the next step. I'm going to try to carve with a harder wood, and I'm going to try to carve something I've never carved before. So I'm learning something. It's fun. I made a thing and I learned something. Is it the best thing in the world? No. This is flawed. This is very flawed. Is it kind of cool that I can say that, hey, I made that? Yeah. And have I had fun with the process? Yeah. So, thank you for joining me on this RLLB, everyone. I appreciate it. It's been a fun project. It's been a fun project. Perfect? No. Fun? Yes. And that's what matters at the end of the day. I will be back at you next month for another RLLB as we go on some other kind of misadventure. But I appreciate you following me along for the ride, appreciate you being here to support me, and of course, as always, my friends, until next time, bye bye.